Hi everyone, and welcome to Serpentes Sunday for May 14th, 2023. I'm Lori with Behavior Education at Spirit Keeper Animal Sanctuary. And way back on April 23rd, when we went over this episode about cleaning the exercise tents, I told you I was going to introduce a new enrichment item to you guys in the future, and today is the day. So this is a new one that I'm going to try. Out, you can use it outdoors. This is what it looks like. This is called a SlowTon small animal playpen. It says portable large chicken run coop with detachable bottom, breathable transparent mesh walls, foldable pet enclosure for puppy, kitten, rabbits, indoor or outdoor. And in the photo on Amazon.com where I got this, there's a picture of a kitten, a puppy, a duckling, and a chick. So I thought if it could hold these other animals, that it could certainly hold my snakes. And I investigated a little bit further, and they had some additional information and additional photos, which showed a rabbit, a hamster, some other type of small exotic rodent, a hedgehog. And it appears that you can put this outside and that you can stake it to the ground. So it came with some plastic stakes, and you can either leave the bottom on or you can unzip the bottom and stake it to the ground so that the dirt or the grass is actually the bottom of the pen. And it has 4 doors, 2 on the roof and 2 in the front. So I, of course, had to get this for the snakes to see how this would work out for them. And it was a lot more difficult to put together, actually, than I thought it was going to be. It has like a wire on the bottom, and I had a little bit of difficulty figuring out how that was supposed to be positioned. But so because it's in these 2 large halves that are attached together, the very middle part is a solid but bendable, malleable wire. And I guess it just helps the whole tent keep its shape. This is obviously a view from the inside. It is very large and roomy, and there's plenty of room for most snakes that people are going to have as pets to stretch out in here. And I like the accessibility of it because there are those 2 unzippable doors on the front, and then there are 2 unzippable doors on the top. So I really like that. It is extremely light. It does not weigh anything. So I'm not sure how sturdy it would be in high wind, and I certainly wouldn't get sharp objects around it, but as long as you're not ripping it or tearing it, putting anything heavy on it, it's very light enough that I can put it on top of these wire dog exercise pens, and it's not going to overweight the dog exercise pens. And I chose to just fill it with cardboard boxes and very light enrichment items because these dog exercise pens are really not supposed to have much weight on top. They're just designed to have a wire top and then a shade cover on them. So I can't set anything with any substantial weight on top of these dog pens. This weighs almost nothing, and then when I'm just adding basically cardboard boxes and very light plastics to the inside, it's just fine to set on top of here. So I will tell you that each of these dog exercise pens is 4x4, and I did get this on Amazon.com. The cost of it was $43.99, so basically 44 American dollars is what I paid for this. I really thought that was inexpensive. It feels flimsy, and like I said, it's nothing that a snake is going to be able to get out of, though, because they don't have teeth that are going to chew through it. They don't have claws that are going to tear it. So I think as long as you're careful about where you use this and that you don't have animals that you're putting in it or animals on the outside of it that are going to chew or claw through it, that for an animal like a snake, that this is just fine. So what I proceeded to do here was basically just fill it up with a whole bunch of random stuff. Some of the stuff I'm putting in there are plastic tubs that I use for enrichment, or that I've used in the past as humid hides, or as transport tubs, or as soaking tubs, or just for other purposes, but they're not currently being used by any particular snake or in an enclosure. I, of course, added empty cardboard boxes and tubes, and I was just trying to fill it up with as much stuff as possible. And I actually had a difficult time doing it because it is so big. Not tall necessarily, but the footprint, the length and the width is just a lot of space when you start trying to fill it up with stuff for snakes. The one I ordered says it's an extra large size, and the dimensions on it say that it is 36 inches or 94 centimeters deep, and 73 inches or 185 centimeters long, and then 25 inches or 44 centimeters tall. So I was just barely able to get a wooden large bird perch in there that is 2 feet tall. But because the top of the exercise pen or enclosure, whatever you want to call this thing, is flexible because it's mesh, I was able to put that wooden perch in there, and it just hit the top and it pushed the top up a little bit. So the bottom does zip off, and I had to make sure that the zippers were all the way closed, because obviously if you don't have these zippers all the way together, or if you don't have the bottom zipped on completely, the snake's going to get out of the bottom. So I made doubly sure that all of the zippers were attached properly, that the bottom was completely 100% zipped on, and that the zippers were closed to their maximum extent. And then these yellow loops are for staking it to the ground. If you take it outside, it came with plastic stakes that you could put through those loops and stake the tent to the ground. So this is just another view of some of the items that I've put inside it. And this is what it would look like if you were inside it looking out. You can see right through the mesh. So the snakes have a little bit of a solid barrier at the bottom, and then they can raise up and look out the mesh. That's another spot where the zippers come together. So the bottom zips on and those zippers come together in the middle by where that wire piece keeps this from collapsing on itself. I've used it now for about a month, and I haven't had any issues with any snakes getting out of it. I haven't had any snakes get hurt on anything on it. It's all smooth on the inside. I haven't found anything that snakes could get caught on or in. Now, of course, if they bite at the mesh, they could get their teeth caught in it. There's really no reason for them to bite at the mesh. And it's easily cleanable. So I've already cleaned it once too. I've taken everything out. I've unzipped the bottom, and I've put the bottom in the washing machine, and I've wiped out the inside with the accelerated hydrogen peroxide product and let it dry. So far, I like it.